All right. So I decided to do my capstone on combining or bringing together the MMP department and the jazz studies department. This all started from my beginning year of college when I tried to get into the jazz program as a jazz major, didn't work out, switched to MMP, but I still liked the two ideas and how they work together. Um, when I did that switch originally to MMP, I thought, is there a way I can incorporate these two things that I really like into one big project that I can do maybe later on in my college career? Sure enough, this class came around and the opportunity came around for me. So at that point, I decided it was set for me to record these various combos that we have in the jazz department and then handpick a couple here and there just so we can have some different groups to show how well students work together. They can just come together and create these really, really unique pieces of music. So that was the start of the project for me. The beginning, organizing it was a little bit of a hassle at first due to when I was looking to record, it was the week of Dimensions. It was coming up. Everyone was stressing about that. So I had to get in the studios the week before that because I wanted to have everything done, mixed, and mastered by spring break. And I have the dates that I recorded each combo on the slide when I get to them. So the first combo that I recorded was the Charles Platts Trio. This features Charles Platts, Jacob Smith, and TJ Schaff. This was originally my 430 project, but since Charles wrote an original tune for this called Demoted, I figured this would be an excellent piece to showcase on this project as well, since it's the only original that we have for this. And then this was inspired. He said it was inspired by Pat Metheny's tune "Question and Answer." So when I went to produce it, I listened to that tune heavily, listened to how it was produced, all of that fun stuff. And when I gave it to him, he said it turned out much better than what he was like expecting. So here's a preview of Charles Platts' tune "Demoted." Right. So, as you heard, there was a lot of reverb on that. One of the things that Pat Metheny did on this album was some reverb, some distortion, and some delay. And one of my favorite things about mixing and producing this track was looking up Pat Metheny's uh, amp settings and his pedal settings, just so I can try to get as close as tone as possible to help match the original recording. One of the problems I had with this recording was re-record the head out. So we did that, and I had to copy it, cut it, and paste it onto the full track with the solos, the head in, all of that. That was a learning experience for me, and it worked out really well. I'm glad it happened because I got to learn from it, and it turned out great. The next tune that they recorded is "Night and Day" by Cole Porter. Um, this one is probably my favorite tune from their session. Uh, they just played so well together. This was, I think, the fifth tune out of the six that they recorded. So they were in the groove, they were feeling it, they were just killing it all night. But this one just stuck out to me the most. And I'll give you about a minute preview of this one since it's the same group. This one's a little quieter. Then towards the end, they recorded this once, and then when they did it the second time, they're like, let's add a vamp to the end to really like let TJ play for a minute just to show what he can do, which can't skip ahead. I'll come back to that. The third song they recorded was "All of Me." This is the first tune that they recorded in the session. Um, it was killer. They recorded it in the New Orleans style. I love the way it sounds. I can give you about a minute preview since, once again, it's the same group. Yeah, that was the Charles Platts Trio. It was a lot of fun recording with them. I've worked with Charles a lot throughout these past 2 semesters, and one of the things that I learned or helped, or one of the things about this project for me was to help build my connections with people in the department that are not graduating. So if they need any help with recording, even if they are graduating and they need an engineer, that I'm someone they can work with because they'll have experience working with me. They'll know that I can get things done. But on to the next group. This is Nick Tucker's student combo. They recorded Cedar Walton's tune Ugetsu. It was originally featured on an Art Blakey live album. As you can see, we've got a larger group performing this time. This was the second session of the whole project. It was recorded early or mid-February. This was before the whole Dimensions thing started to get people nervous. But this one's a really neat tune. Everyone was isolated just so we could have super nice clarity on each part, so I wouldn't have to worry about bleeding and fixing all of that in post production. So here's a preview of Ugetsu. This one, we recorded it. When we recorded it, I didn't know at the time that half of these guys, it was their first time in the studio. So we had to get over those first time in the studio nerves just to get comfortable in the session. It took a few takes, but we got this take taken care of at the end. Everyone was happy with it. Some people got some first time studio experience. So next time they're in, they'll be more comfortable, more used to it. And overall, this was a fun session. Working with Nick's group was a blast. The next group was a hand-picked rhythm section quartet. They came into the studio. They asked, "Oh, what types of styles of music do you have?" Since I talked to all of them about doing a separate project with this, and they picked their tune "Days of Wine and Roses," and they decided to do like kind of a hip hop style since it would be different. Just different style from the majority of the groups that we had coming in. They all are great players. Here's a preview of it. When we recorded this, it took a couple takes because everyone was starting trying to like fit into the pocket of this hip hop style since we've been playing swing for the majority of the day. But getting into it, once everybody got into the groove, we produced an incredible recording with these guys. The next group that I had come into the studios was a trio led by Trevor Mather. Um, they came in, played Blues on the Corner. This was a first take situation. They had rehearsed it coming into it. There's not much to say about it. It was just great recording. So here's a little preview of it. So that was the Saxophone Trio. The next group that we recorded was Cassius Goens' student combo. This tune is called Crooked Creek. This was originally featured on Brian Blade's album, or Brian Blade in the Fellowship's album. I can't remember what the album name is, but it was originally featured on a Brian Blade album. This was recorded the next day. We have a mostly completely different group of people in. Working with this group was another really good time. Took a little bit to get used to the studio, but it worked out in the end. Cassius was fantastic to work with, giving me some input on like how to be more impactful as an engineer in these sessions from his experience. So that was a great learning experience for me, and I'm sure it was a great learning experience for these four musicians coming in and being able to perform another tune in the studio. Here's a preview of Crooked Creek. Crooked Creek. The last group that we recorded was Scott Routenberg Student Combo. They played Kenny Barron's tune Voyage. This features, as you can see, Trevor Mather again, Errol Slavic, Ian Elmore, and Sam Green. This was a rather quick session because they came in fully prepared. They knew exactly how they were going to play the arrangement. Scott walked me through the roadmap just so I was on the same page as all the musicians and so I could be ready for when things were happening. Here is Voyage. So that is all of the groups that I was able to record. Unfortunately, due to the coronavirus situation, I wasn't able to successfully record a big band or finish out the entire student combo group or all the student combos. But hopefully in the future, and if somebody else decides to do a project similar to this, they won't run into this coronavirus problem like we did. And then here's a link to the full project. If you would like the link sent to you, just let me know. And it has the full version of each of the songs that I was able to record for this project, produce, all the fun stuff. So thank you for listening.